Hello and welcome to Natural Parent Magazine's baby wearing segment called Keeping Them Close. My name is Lauren Modi, I'm co-founder of Mumma Etc, and I'm here today to chat to you about this week's topic, soft versus structured carriers. I spoke to you a little bit last week about the benefits of baby wearing, so you might be thinking, yep, I really want to do baby wearing with my baby, I know how important it is. Now to find the perfect carrier. There's a lot to consider. There's quite a lot of different types out there, and I just wanted to go through some of the features and benefits and reasons why you may go with a soft and B, a structured, or even within the soft carriers there's quite a few different styles. So where to start? Okay, so firstly, as I mentioned, I'm from Mumma Etc. I'm co-founder of Mumma Etc, so I'm obviously a very big fan of slings. And so I'm going to start with soft carriers. Soft carriers sort of include things like, your stretchy wraps, woven wraps, slings, even my-dyes are a form of, they're kind of in between, but they're definitely more of a soft carrier, which is where you have like, an apron piece here and then it wraps around you. And then your structured carrier is your buckle clip. Usually they have a piece going around here and almost kind of like a backpack, but you're wearing your baby on your front in the backpack. So a bit more bulky, a bit more, I guess structured. So the benefits of a soft carrier. Now, I always believe that babies should be worn from newborn. Last week I talked about skin to skin and how important that was, and basically baby wearing around the house. To baby wear around the house, you don't necessarily need a soft carrier, but it's a lot more comfortable. So a soft carrier is going to mold to your baby's body, and it's on your body as well. So when you're sitting down and things like that, you're not going to have any sort of buckles digging into you, and it's not going to be rigid. It moves with your baby and the size of your baby and that sort of thing. Perfect for skin to skin. So a lot of structured carriers do have sort of a piece of fabric between you, which is great for knowing baby's really nice and secure. But if you want to get your baby touching your body, which is really important, you normally would have to go for a soft carrier to do that. I know slings are perfect. I think definitely some ways of wrapping and things like that can get a really good skin to skin carrier as well. So yeah, even in the middle of the night, my baby wearing or my sling was one of the things that really comforted my my second baby. He would wake up in the middle of the night, and if I couldn't settle him, if he was a bit upset, a bit gassy or something, I would go and grab the sling and I would wear him around the house for a little bit, go for a little walk, get myself a glass of water and a little snack, and by the time I walked around a little bit, he'd be settled and he'd be asleep, and then I'd transfer him back into the bed. So to be able to just pop it on in the middle of the night and almost act as like a blanket for your baby, like a comforting blanket, that's what you're going to get out of a soft carrier. Hips. So one of the most crucial things when looking for a baby carrier is supporting baby's hips. So your baby should be supported in the M position. Most soft carriers that I've come across, if worn correctly and to the instructions, will support baby in that M position. So just make sure when you look in the mirror, once you get it on, you've followed all the instructions, if you can see that M in the baby's hips, that's correct. So you're looking for a carrier that has been approved by the Hip Dysplasia Institute, because they will make sure that the carrier provides that support for your baby. Most of the time, the structured carriers do support that position as well, but some of them don't. So it's just a matter of being aware of that. And I guess that's not structured versus soft, it's just all carriers. And something that people don't actually know is baby wearing supports hip development. So if you have a baby that has shown signs as a newborn with unstable hips, baby wearing will actually help your baby develop stronger hips. The reason being is because you're not laying them down flat in a pram where their hips are stretched out. So the more you wear them, the more supported their hips are. So it's good for baby's development. It's not just an added sort of thing to think about. So supportive. Okay, supportive carrier does depend on the fabric. So a soft carrier is often supportive when worn correctly and if you're choosing the right material. So something like linen is one of the strongest fabrics known, or natural fabrics known to mankind. And our slings are woven. So you've got your woven wraps and your woven slings. That is going to be very supportive, especially if worn correctly. So your woven wraps are spread widely across the back. Same with the sling, it carries the weight across the back. There are some fabrics, such as stretchy fabrics, which once baby gets a little bit heavier, may not be quite as supportive as you'd like. So think about that. So you might love to invest in a stretchy carrier, but it might only be suffice for the first few months, and then you'd look at another alternative carrier. Cooler. So usually the key thing about soft wraps is that they're made from amazing material. So usually you're looking at natural fibers like linen or high quality cotton, bamboo, blends of those things. It is really important to be choosing a natural fiber for its breathability. The last thing you want is your baby to overheat or you to overheat. And usually, you've got a nice sort of thin but supportive layer of fabric that can breathe. Structured carrier is a little bit different. There's more padding, there's often synthetics used, not all of them, but that's just something to be mindful of. And also there's slings and wraps out there on the market that are also made out of synthetic fibers. So just be sure to research the type of fabric, because it's important not only for support, but it's also important for breathability and the comfort of your baby. And so I guess I stopped wearing my oldest baby because I didn't have access to a sling. I didn't even really know what a sling was. And I had like a structured carrier, and it was coming into summer and I couldn't wear it for more than 5 minutes. It was just so hot. That particular carrier, I believe, was like cotton outer, but inside was synthetic infill in the padding and things like that. And so that made it really hard to wear. So that sadly kind of ended my baby wearing journey with him, not knowing my other options. But second time round, I was able to wear a sling which was made from linen to Bali all through summer. Second baby is actually a summer bub, so I would just strip off, pop him in a nappy, strip him to me, wander around the pool, like whatever I was doing. And yeah, it was just a lot more comfortable in that sense. So yeah, soft carriers are generally made out of like a thinner fabric, but you can also get structured carriers that are quite well designed in that sense and are using natural fibers and that sort of thing. So just something to be aware of. Okay, and then there's the portability. So a soft carrier, usually you can this is one of our slings here. And it is actually quite a lot of fabric. It's 2 meters of fabric, almost 2 meters, and it can just sort of bundle up like that. So you can pop that into a little handbag. You can take it with you wherever, if you're traveling, hand luggage, things like that. You've also got the double up function of it acting as a blanket as well, if you just don't want to bring a blanket with you as well. Like a lot of the woven wraps, they're literally just a big length of fabric, so quite portable and versatile, if that makes sense. Whereas your structured carriers might not be quite as easy to fold up. It might be a thing to actually bring it with you, which is fine if you plan to be baby wearing. But if you don't plan to be baby wearing, you head out with Bub in a pram and Bub's really fussy. Like, how often do you see mums walking around pushing a pram with a baby on their hip or in their arms, and just didn't think, oh, why would I bring my carrier? I brought my pram. At least with a soft carrier, you can sort of have it there as a backup. I know mums that keep one in their car, keep one next to the door, they keep one in baby's room, just so they can just grab them when they need them. Also stylish, I guess, like something to think of after you've had a baby. You do want to feel like yourself. You want to get back to having your own, little identity. Mums love choosing like a fabric color. Like here at Mumma Etc, we like to bring out new season colors. Depending on when you're having your baby, you might feel like wearing a bright color. You might just be a grey neutral kind of mama, but you can be yourself with your carrier, which was really important to us when starting Mumma Etc, and also I feel like is important to most mums. A lot of the structured carriers, you do also get some different colours and styles, but might not be such a nice look with the buckles and the straps and whatnot, as opposed to a beautiful dangling piece of fabric or being wrapped in a beautiful fabric. It's almost like being wrapping a big scarf around you or something. So yeah, they're pretty much the main benefits of a soft carrier. Some of the negatives to a soft carrier, some of them do only carry to a certain weight, especially if you're talking about a stretchy wrap. So a stretchy wrap is a great, a lot of mums love them for newborns. I found that around the 6 month mark, the fabric would sort of start to bunch and pull on my back. So because it's not woven fabric, it wasn't as supportive. You can also, some mums find the wraps tricky to use, especially some of the beautiful woven wrap techniques that you see. They look amazing. But it's something that you would have to sort of take the time to learn to use and be quite passionate about. If you're a busy mum and you're not willing to put the time in, then it might not be suitable for you. Again, another reason why I personally favoured the sling, because I felt like it was very easy to use. You can always jump onto Mumma Etc's Instagram if you want to have a look at some of my demos, and I kind of go through it with mums, and 99% of them get it. And if they don't, if they have questions, they message me, and I'll either weave that into my next demo or send them their own mini demo or do a one-on-one. So I guess that's something to consider if you're going to invest in a soft wrap. Just consider your after sale service. After you purchase it, are they going to answer your questions? Are they going to teach you how to use it? What are their demos like? All that kind of thing. Unless you're wanting to go out and find the information yourself, that's something to consider. So price. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know the price varies a lot. Some of your stretchy wraps sell for like under $80. Some of them go, and then some of the heavy woven wraps, they're made from beautiful materials, but they can be up to $500. So again, not that it's not a negative, it's just something to consider, the variation in pricing. Structured carriers, on the other hand, usually sit that bit higher. And usually you're looking at, for a good structured carrier, you're looking above 200 to sometimes closer to 300. Just because there's more work in them, there's more detail, there's more design. So yeah, that's something to consider when you're looking. So the benefits of structured carriers. I may be a soft carrier fan, but don't get me wrong, the clip and go, it's hard to stuff that up. It's really easy. A lot of first-time mums do go for them because they look strong and sturdy, and they feel like they're going to have that confidence of being able to click and put my baby in and off we go. They don't always, you see that strong structured carrier, you don't always consider that those buckles and things also, until I started in this industry, mums would tell me that they struggle to do up the buckles in their carrier. Like a lot of the time there's a buckle back here, or there's a buckle back here, and they've just had a C-section and there's a strap over their C-section. So there is some things to think about with use and comfort for the structured carriers. they are designed to be supportive for long periods. So hence the padding, you know, often they have like a lower back support around here. However, having said that, some people don't find them comfortable. Sometimes they, you know, they do sort of pull because they've got that backpack style. They might not be spread across the back. They might put a lot of weight on your shoulders. So something to consider. I always think that if you're going to go for a structured, then definitely go and try it on. Different mums, different shapes, different areas that they find uncomfortable. It could be a lot more difficult to sort of find one that suits you and your comfort level. And yeah, that's pretty much okay. So what else have I got? Oh, age, of course. So a structured carrier may only be able to be used from a certain age unless you invest in like a insert or something like that. My concern with the insert again is like overheating baby. So just be aware, like, you know, if it's in winter and it's made out of natural fibers, then that extra layer of padding, and you're happy to invest the money, the extra layer of padding might be okay, but that's something to consider about the, you know, the age use for the carrier. That's why a lot of mums do invest in both as well. They'll grab the soft carrier for the earlier days and then want to move on to the structured carrier. Isn't always necessary. The slings go all the way up to toddlerhood, and the supportive woven wraps do go all the way up to toddlerhood usually as well. But yeah, that is something to consider when looking at structured. And again, yeah, the heat issue, the hips, and just that bit more bulky and not as easy as to sort of maneuver around. So I find the mums that use the structured carriers do like to use them on like long walks, if they're hiking, things like that, where they're going to be wearing for a long period of time. Back carries, a lot of mums like to back carry with them. Whereas, you know, if you prefer the hip carry, like that's where you sort of naturally carry your baby, then a sling might be better for you. So also another thing to consider, positioning. So all in all, I think every mum should have a soft carrier. I think they're very, very handy in those early days. And then I think it should be, I guess, a decision whether you invest in a structured carrier as well as your soft carrier. Things to remember when looking at soft carriers: how long is it going to last? What age can I use it up to? How easy is it to use? What is my after purchase service like? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So good luck picking your carrier. Be sure to check out ours. Like I said, I'm absolutely in love with our slings, and I just can't rave about them enough. And all my mamas agree with me. I get so many beautiful comments about how handy their slings are, how they use them every day, and yeah, it means a lot. And yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know, and yeah, enjoy. Thanks guys, bye.